Alabama, 24. Ole Miss. Couldn't think of their name for a second. 10. 24-10. Now you just have to ask yourself, when's Lane Kiffin going to get this done? When is Lane Kiffin going to beat his mentor? Man, I'm sure he hates those words. But he probably doesn't listen to the Pandemonium Reigns podcast, so I'm not worried about it, right? Tide, 24, Rebels, 10. My question coming out of this game is, who is Alabama? Who is Alabama? And it's not, is Saban done? Is he tired? Is he exhausted? Because I'm not buying into that narrative. Not buying into that crap. I think Saban, if anybody, is smart enough to know that he'll know when his time is done. You'll know when Saban is done because he'll tell you. All right, he'll probably die on the sideline. Jalen Milroe, 17 for 21, man, 225 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Take what I said about Cade Klubnik. Makes really great plays in difficult situations. Doesn't make the play in the easy ones. He's got a bit of Jarrett Guarantano in him. Like, what are you looking at, dude? That one pick he threw, I believe it was in the end zone. Pretty sure it was in the end zone. I'm trying to recall. Tennessee was on at this time. But the guy was sitting right up underneath it. I mean, the receiver had a guy behind him and underneath him. Why are you throwing that ball? Do you not see him? Are you blind? Do you need your vision tested? Hey, close one eye and read these letters. Repeat after me. Are you good? What are you looking at? But what's getting them out of bad scenarios and situations is his legs and his athleticism. He is an athlete who can play quarterback, right? And he'll make some great throws. Like he'll drop it in there. Like, holy crap! That's what a ball, dude! What a ball. But then you have guys like Jace McClellan, 17 for 105. And Jalen Milroe, 16 carries, 28 yards with a long of 20. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he took some sacks there. I would like to try to find this number for you real quick. Obviously, not prepared yet. 4 sacks. 4 sacks going against Jalen Milroe. But who is Alabama? What is their DNA? What is their identity? Obviously, they want to run, right? And I just think at this point, I don't know that you piddle around with the quarterback situation anymore. I think you move forward with Jalen Milroe. I think Jalen Milroe is the right decision just because of the things that he's able to get you out of. I don't believe that the Alabama offensive line is all that it's cracked up to be. I know that they've experienced some injuries on that front. And Milroe is going to be able to get you out of a lot of those situations. Obviously, he took 4 sacks, but he's going to be able to do a lot with his legs. So what I think you do is I think you open up the offense a little bit, not even necessarily with RPOs. You obviously see that in their offense sometimes, not what it used to be under Tua and Mac Jones and the such, and when Steven Sarkisian was at the helm as the offensive coordinator. But I do think you look at a ton of read option stuff, zone reads, and you do it at multiple looks, gun, pistol, split backs, all the scenarios. Jace McClellan is, keep in mind, I'm a Tennessee fan. Is it surprising me a little bit? Are those the words? He's a good back. He's a really good back. He's kind of like that Will Shipley thing. He's not elite, right? And I think Alabama's paying the price for that, not having an elite backfield, right? They're a lot like Clemson in the sense. They don't have elite quarterback play. Bryce Young is gone. They don't have elite receivers. That once room of Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, like those. That's not what you have currently. So you just don't have the elite talent on the edge, but still winning games, man, because it's just a part of their culture. It's what they're doing. So I'm very interested to pay attention to Alabama going forward. As a Tennessee fan, I'm obviously not predicting a Tennessee win in that night in Tuscaloosa, but I am interested. I went into this season going, that's a loss for us. I'm not I still think it is a loss, but I'm not so convinced anymore. I think Bama is very beatable if you can apply pressure and if you can corral Jalen Milroe. I mean, I think if you're defending Alabama, you load the box and you just dare him to beat you with his arm, and he's going to sometimes. He does have the arm talent. He can make the reads. I do think you simplify things for him in the pass game. You know, the Steve Spurrier offense is really what comes to mind. Spurrier was so good in his Florida days about allowing his quarterbacks to only have to read one side of the field. A ton of trip stuff, and if it was a 4 wide situation, it was a 1-by-3 or 3-by-1, and the quarterback really just had to read one side of the field. Look it off with no intention of going to that side. Look to your trip side or to your heavy side and make a decision. Run if you're looking at cover 2, have an arrow route or a drag route or a flat route tagged with a post corner streak of some sort, and make your safety and corner make a decision and make the easy throw. I think those are the things that you start to look at with Jalen Milroe. Maybe that's something they're already doing. I'm placing emphasis on it if I'm them. Flipping to Ole Miss very quickly. I really thought that. Well, first of all, let me say this game I think was closer than the final score resembles. 24-10. Felt a lot closer to that. It's a 14-point difference. Just felt much closer than that. Jackson Dart is a good quarterback. 20 for 35, 244, and a pick. Quinshon Judkins is that dude, but the Alabama defense, didn't really have it that day. 13 for 56, 4.3, long of 14. Again, kind of come back to the situation with Ole Miss. If that attempt wasn't it, when are you going to do it? If I'm an Alabama fan, I trust that Saban is really going to get things right. I think your future is a guy like Ty Simpson, who will be in his 3rd year in the program come the 24 season. But also, you can make the argument he had a year to learn the offense and do all the things, and he didn't win the job. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel very scattered right now, kind of talking about the Tide. The Tennessee fan in me likes to see him struggle. It's a good thing. I hate that for all of our Alabama listeners, but I am enjoying it. I will say this to you guys, though. Appreciate you guys for listening in. The wheels are not falling off in Tuscaloosa. Things are not on fire. You just gotta let it correct itself. You gotta trust the guy who has proven himself over and over and over and over again. And the saying is just reigning true for you guys. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. You got 3. You don't have a quarterback. I do think you're right out with Jalen Milroe. Props to the Tide. I will say this. I think you got a really good win over a really good Ole Miss team. Way to keep them down in that division, or what's in the latter days of this division. Anyway, nonetheless, Tide 24, Rebels 10. Saban gets it done.